Since the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, we've seen a new surge in the activism surrounding racial justice. And last night, the protests moved from the streets to the bubble.
Mass protests by pro-athletes taking a major stance demanding justice over the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The Milwaukee Bucks sparked a basketball boycott and a chain reaction throughout the sports world.
Overnight, the NBA paused the playoffs. This empty court speaking volumes as the Milwaukee Bucks players refused to take the court against the Orlando Magic last night just before tip-off.
Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action. So our focus today cannot be on basketball.
The Bucks spoke by phone with some of Wisconsin's elected officials, and afterwards they released a collective statement calling for change. They want the police officers involved in the shooting held accountable, and they're also calling on the Wisconsin state legislature to address police brutality and social justice reform.
That's right. In an unprecedented move, the NBA had to postpone its playoff games after the players went on strike. Which, don't get it twisted, is a really big deal. This shit is so radical, it makes Colin Kaepernick look moderate. I bet right now, somewhere out there's an old racist guy like, I miss the good old days when they would take a knee, but at least they'd show up for work. And massive props to these athletes for using their platform to bring attention to what's happening in the streets. Because when you think about it, sports doesn't stop for anything. So when sports does shut down, people take notice. Like, do you guys remember that time aliens landed on Earth? Yeah, of course you don't remember, because it was the playoffs. I'm also glad that this movement was started by the players and not by the league. Because you know the league would have just put out a "let's dunk on racism" poster and called it a day. And a lot of people were impressed that NBA players were willing to come together to make a stand like this. Although, predictably, there were some people who didn't see it that way.
After November 3rd, if they don't like the election, if Donald Trump wins, are they going to boycott the next game? Is football going to follow? Are we going to play sports by what's in the news every day?
They're going to get fans and will never come back, like myself. So they're hurting
the fans
themselves.
Are saying no.
The NBA players are very fortunate that they have the financial position where they're able to take a night off from work without having to have the consequences to themselves financially.
I think that it's nice that they're standing up for the issue, but I'd like to see them start moving into concrete solutions that are productive.
Okay guys, I'm a little confused. Are NBA players supposed to just shut up and dribble, or literally fix racism all by themselves? Either way, it feels like America relies way too much on their athletes to do everything. They're supposed to play basketball, fix racism, sell cereal, and date all the Kardashians. And I like how Jared just tried to insinuate that NBA players shouldn't complain because they're well paid. First of all, Jared, they're rich because they're the best at what they do, okay? Why are you rich? What are you the best at, other than looking like a Victorian ghost? And also, rich people shouldn't complain? Your boss father is a rich guy who does nothing but complain. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's always interesting how Republicans choose which rich people get to complain about politics. Because if you're liberal with money, they say that you need to shut up and just be grateful for what you have. But if you're a conservative with money, then they're like, well, you're the one person who should complain because you know more than these broke-ass bitches. And as for Mr. Are we going to play sports by what's in the news every day? Yeah, why not? I mean, we already do that with the weather. If we can have a rain delay, we sure as hell can have a police brutality delay.